topic that I'm going to discuss today is embrace lab standardization and integration to the next level. This is basically just a very experience that we already done since 2013. Before that, let me introduce about my country and my state. Definitely, I'm from Malaysia, a very small nation of 35 million population, and my state is Penang, situated in the northern region of Peninsular Malaysia. So basically, in our local language, we call as Pulau Pinang. Pulau means island, whereas Penang means the betel nut tree. So basically, we are the island of betel nuts. And basically, in English, we always been called as Penang. So this is my hospital where I'm working since 2013. It was founded in 1854. So basically, my hospital is one of the oldest hospital in Malaysia. We are the state hospital as well as we are the regional reference center for the northern region of Peninsular Malaysia. With a number of 1,198 beds, we are having more than 4,000 staff with a number of 19 specialties and 54 subspecialties that making us the hospital with the most number of subspecialties in our country. But bear in mind, being one of the oldest hospitals in Malaysia make us very lack in terms of facilities and in terms of technology. Definitely, information technology is one of the most lacking in our hospital setup. And this is where our hospital situated in our city, the city of the state of Penang, which is Georgetown, and I'm very happy to promote that we are one of the best tourist attraction in our country, and our city also been acknowledged by the UNESCO as one of the heritage sites in the world. So basically what I'm going to discuss is purely what is our experience in conducting improvement in the management of our laboratory in our state. So my outline of presentation will begin with introduction to the Penang Pathology Services. I'm going to discuss some major overview of problems that we faced before the year of 2013, and there will be two phases that I'm going to discuss. The first phase one, that what we have done, then outcome, and the first phase two, that what we have done and the outcome that lead us to the lab standardization and integration. So this is again our state, and in our state there are six public hospitals, and we are the state hospital, Hospital Pulau Pinang. And in our state there are island side and the mainland. So basically the island side is in the one cluster of the hospital, and the mainland side or the Seberang Perai mean in one cluster of hospital, with a population of 1.6 million population and a total number of 1,947 beds in our public hospital. Whereas on the other hand, there's about 2,000 beds in our private sector. So it's about 4,000 of beds in our state. So it's about 50% in public, 50% in the private, and mainly our private also do cater for the non-Malaysian because we are aggressively promoted our health tourism in the state. That before I'm going further, I would like to tell everyone that actually in our setup of Ministry of Health, we are very, very highly subsidized in terms of service delivery. For a visit to the normal outpatient department, it will cost you just about 30 cents. And for a visit to the specialist clinic, it will just cost you $2 to $3, which will be inclusive of diagnostic care, medication, and all sorts of treatment given to a patient. So this is a very, very challenging for us to maintain the services because our services in Malaysia is highly subsidized by the government. So this is the all six hospitals in our state, and the six hospitals also have 6 laboratories. So basically this is our major specialist hospital. We have 2 others minor specialist hospital with 2 others non-specialist hospitals. And in terms of geographically, we are just a small state. We are the 3rd smallest state in Malaysia. So if you drive a car from one hospital to the other hospital, actually it will just take you about 2 hours and 25 minutes. So this is something which is a good point for us in terms of management of our services. So let me introduce you about Penang Pathology Services. Penang Pathology Services actually is a networking of 6 laboratories in our state. It is led by a consultant histopathologist in our hospital with a total number of 21 pathologists, 36 scientists, and 151 laboratory technologists. And we did spend in the year 2017, this is about $3.2 million US. This is merely just on the purchasing of the reagents and consumables. We are having about 2.1 million sample with 6.2 million tests, where the majority of the tests will be more than 70% contributed by the chemical pathology disciplines. So mainly our objective is to maintain a better patient outcome with high quality result within our local health system that functionally sustainable, because the high pressure definitely we need to sustainable our services. So this is an overview of problem that we faced before the year of 2013. I can just summarize into 4 different things. The first one is, I think it's quite common, it's a financial pressure where before 2013, we are having a lot of problem to sustain our services. Some of the non-critical tests need to be stopped because of the financial pressure, and we also have a problem to make sure that distribution of the budget is equally and evenly to all the 6 laboratories. Because once we distribute the budget, each of the laboratory will have its own management to manage the money in terms of procurement of analyzers and reagents. Second is the result. As we are the small state, some patients will refer to the state hospital. Some patients may take blood in some smallest hospital, and our clinicians do visiting to the rest of other 5 hospitals. So comparing a result from one hospital to other hospitals is very really a problem before 2013. For example, our albumin, some hospitals use BCP method, some hospitals use BCG method, and always our nephrologist will give a call regarding the non-comparability of the result. And in terms of laboratory quality, there are some hospitals are able to perform a good quality of result, whereas some hospitals are able to be producing good quality of result because there is an ability for us at the central site to monitor all the 5 other hospital laboratories in view of different practice, and there is a lot of variation in the services that we offer in our state. And last but not least is instrument. In our country, it's very difficult for us to procure instrument via purchasing the instrument. So the only way for us to do is by reagent rentals. So this is also a limitation before 2013, where every single laboratory have to do their own tender. When they do their own tender, so it will be a problem for any vendor to give a better price in terms of cost efficiency, because there will be a lot of wastage, there will be a lot of limitation when we do it separately. So in view of this scenario of our before integration of our services, the 6 different laboratories are using 6 different methodology and instruments. So each laboratory will do their own purchasing in terms of the reagent and consumable. In view of this, there are 2 major problems that we encounter. First is the difference of cost per test. Second, difference of test methodology, as I mentioned earlier. So with the what I'm saying about different cost per test, our hospital usually we have a lower cost per test, whereas a smaller hospital laboratory we have a higher price. This is because they have a low workload. And this was also reflected by uneven distribution of the budget to the workload ratio in certain hospitals. And in terms of different test methodology, as a state, we don't have a standardized and harmonization of reference ranges. Our laboratory results are unable to be comparable within 6 laboratories. We are unable to have a standard reporting format for all 6 laboratories, and definitely the result and the quality is not comparable at all. So this is what I mentioned as budget to workload ratio among the 6 laboratories. It showed that in the year of 2010, even there is some smaller laboratory have a workload to budget ratio is higher. It means that they have to spend more money with a lower volume of workload. And this is also quite consistent throughout 2010, 2011, and 2012. So it's mainly in view of the low workload or low volume of the workload in a certain laboratory cause a higher cost per test. And the same scenario that for the from the year of 2006 to 2011, this is our budget that was given by the Ministry of Health, and this is the total number of workload. By increasing of total number of workload, but it seems that the budget given to us is reducing in trend. So this is problem that we face, that we have to find ways to overcome this. Even before the year of 2013, we tried to do a comparative study of our creatinine measurement in all the 6 laboratories, and we calculate the EGFR based on that result, seeing that there will be mislabeling of the patient according to different tests and methodology. So in view of this, we're thinking that we cannot work in silo anymore. We need to work in terms of integration and consolidation to optimize the quality of our pathology services to ensure we are able to give a very effective patient care across the 6 hospitals, so that whenever a patient being treated by any of the specialists or physician in any hospital, they're going to be treated with the same quality of result. So that's why we sit together in the year of 2013, thinking of all these problems and issues. We must do something to change. If not, there will be no more improvement in the pathology services of Penang. So that's why the first step that we do, that we call a public tender that from the year of 2013 to 2017. So the first phase of the tender is we have a tender from 2013 to 2017, and the subsequent tender, which is still running from 2017 until 2021. So this is definitely the innovation that we do, that we want to optimize the management of financial operation through the integration of the purchasing at the state level. So there will be no more purchasing at each single laboratory, whereas the purchasing will be done via a public tender at the main hospital, which is Hospital Pulau Pinang or Penang Hospital. So through this integration, when we call a state tender, we are calling for general biochemistry, endocrine, tumor markers, and serology tests that are running in our state. So there is integration in terms of purchasing and procurement based on 2 principles. The first one is at macro level. As I mentioned earlier, in view of discrepancy of the budget distribution, we think that by having the workload coming together in a single tender, so that we are having a workload sharing in all 6 laboratories, we'll be able to have a very high volume workload. And on the other hand, at the micro level, we incorporate all of the components that require for us to generate a report based on the cost per report level. Means that we are not lines anymore of purchasing every single reagent consumable for us to generate a report, whereas we were just paying according to the number of tests that we generate in our final report. So having said this means that we want a lower and uniform cost of tests. So on the other hand as well, by having the integration in purchasing and procurement, we are able to have a same platform system in all the laboratories that ensure that we are having a standardized test methodology across our 6 laboratories. So I can proudly say that we are the first first multi-site MOH Ministry of Health project to having a single public tender for the laboratory services. This is how the project implementation before we install all the analyzers, and this is the implementation after we install all Corbacity in all the 6 laboratories. So what is the outcome? Definitely, based on all the problems that we face, we are able to have a lower and uniform cost per test. And second one, we can have a standard test methodology. So in view of this, we are having a more harmonized and standardization of tests and services across 6 laboratories. There is no more issue that we are unable to compare from one lab to the other lab. The results are now more comparable because of the same laboratories instrument being used, and we at the state level or the hospital, at the Penang Hospital, we are able to monitor the performance of other 5 hospitals with a standardized of SOP, with a standardized of broad process, and this is well harmonized among the 6 laboratories. Second, definitely we are able to improve laboratory quality improvement performance, because we are having a state-of-art technology, and also the equipment that we use is within a short period of time because it's just within the 4 years public tender. And the third one is effective financial management. Now we are able to have a more equally and well distributed of budget among the 6 laboratories. So this is a study that we done after 2013 showing that the AGF are more standardized and consolidated among the 6 laboratories when we measure creatinine on different patients. And there is also the improvement of 6 Sigma matrix outcome, quality performance among the 6 laboratories where we are performing much better than what we did before the year of 2013. And you can see here that the budget to workload ratio in all laboratories also show a tremendous improvement. For example, this hospital have a very high budget to workload ratio, but after the consolidation of the tender, it even showed a lower compared to Penang General Hospital. So now it's more rational that other lower hospital with a lower workload have a lower budget to workload ratio. Means that the distribution for a state pathologist to distribute the budget will be much easier because we are able to anticipate how much of money they need for each of the hospitals. And they're also showing that in the year of 2014 and 2015, even though there is an increment of the total workload, and we are having not much different in terms of budget given by the Ministry of Health, we are able to sustain our services. Means that from the year of 2013, 14 and 15, there is no more issue in terms of interruption to the service delivery. Furthermore, we are able even to expand our test menu to higher extent. Means that with the same amount of the budget, there will be no issue whenever there is increment of the workload. So this is the first phase that we did in the year of 2013 and 2017, but definitely it is not yet at the standard that we would like to have. The major problem that we have in the phase 1 is definitely we don't have a networking laboratory information system. And the laboratory information system that we acquired by the public tender doesn't meet the criteria that we need, especially to have a networking and also to have features such as auto-validations and networking in terms of monitoring to all 6 laboratories. Meaning that as a chemical pathologist, I should be able to view any problematic result in all 6 laboratories in any of the laboratories. And also, the second one, even though we already have a consolidation and integration, but in terms of the consolidation, we still feel that we are able to do a bit more by having more in terms of the consolidation of test menu, and we are trying to reduce number of equipments. So this is the phase 2 of our planning from the year of 2017 and 2021. So we call for another public tender in the year of 2017. And it's very important because it will be exceed the 2020. Because 2020 actually is our vision by our current 7th Prime Minister, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, is our vision 2020 to become a developed nation. He is currently the oldest Prime Minister of the oldest head of state in the world. So it's really inspired us to do even better. So in the phase 2 of the tender, we have to think of, we want to have more added value, but in the same time, we want to reduce our cost. So what is the thing that we should look and we should really tackle so that we should look that we really want to get the best result for the phase 2 tender. So the strategy 1, as I mentioned earlier, is LIS networking. So we really indeed require LIS networking. But to have a LIS networking means that it will come with a price, with a cost. It will cost us about 1 to 2 millions. And same goes that if, let's say, we want a total lab automation to improve the services in Penang General Hospital, it also will cost us about 1 to 4 Malaysian ringgit. It's about $1 million US. So this is 2 things that we have to look at. Whether we want to have a solution for a state or whether we want a good solution for a laboratory. So the dilemma is we must see the cost in terms of choosing these 2 solutions. So at the moment, Penang General Hospital able to perform at a very good standard without a total lab automation. We are able to maintain the services by having a lean system instead of choosing a technology. But by having a better laboratory information system means that we'll be able to reduce first number of equipment, second we are able to introduce auto-validation in our state, and there will be a real-time result delivery to all samples that refer by our peripheral laboratory to Penang General Hospital. So in view of this, we really need to choose LIS networking instead of total lab automation, because definitely in this moment, the lean concept is better rather than the technology. So definitely from day one of the 2017 public tender, we want to have a single IT system in the state. And we want to improve our laboratory turnaround time by having auto-validations. And we want to have a real-time result, means e-result to all 6 hospitals, so that any physician can view the result in real time. And the thing that we decide that we choose a local company of laboratory information system, so that whatever that we do will be based on our perspective, how we want to set the technology. So the second strategy after we choose that, we choose laboratory information networking rather than TLA to a hospital. The second thing is we try to achieve a better consolidation. Means that we want to drive quality improvement and budget efficiency. What I'm saying about consolidation is, in the year of 2013, the tender requirement is we want to have a 19 numbers of equipment. But in the year of 2017, we want to reduce it into 10 analyzer equipment, because we believe that by reducing numbers of equipment, we'll be able to reduce more cost. And the saving that we have, we are able to do other things that really indeed require. For example, we want it to be the cost for our laboratory information system. So how we want to get that? Definitely, we are arranging back our test menu. Certain of the tests shouldn't be done in certain laboratory, and some of the group of tests should be done in one platform rather than to have different platform. So, for example, TDM in the year of 2013 until 2017, we have to analyze on different analyzer. We have dedicated analyzer for endocrine and chemistry on Cobas 8000, and also we have Cobas E602 for running of our serology, because serology been running on different unit of serology. So we're thinking that instead of all these laboratory analyzer need to be consolidated into one platform rather than to have a different analyzers. So that makes us able to reduce from 19 equipment to 10 equipments. So this is the outcome from the year of 2013 and 2017, where we're able to lower and uniform cost of test, and we're able to get standard test methodology. But we feel that we should be able to do better from 2017 and onward. So by having lower and uniform cost of test, standard test methodology, and we are adding consolidation of the test menu with additional LIS networking, we are even able to improve in terms of result connectivity and LKAT. So for us, we are able to overcome the real root cause in our system of pathology Penang services is not because of the technology per se, but we require a good information technology to deliver our result to all 6 hospitals. So, as I mentioned earlier in my slide, the distance between the whole 6 hospitals is 112 kilometers, and will take us about 2 hours and 25 minutes to drive from one hospital to other hospital. And definitely, if we want to send out result manually, it will take us could be more than that. And by having a better LIS networking, we are able to reduce from 112 kilometers to 0 kilometers, and there will be a real-time result delivery, where this is the thing that we want to achieve rather than just a technology for one hospital. So what are the results? It shows that by having an in-house laboratory information system that is set by our own system, we dig our own rules and algorithm and logic so that we can have our own laboratory information setup, we are able to achieve about more than 90% of results being auto-validated in all 6 hospitals. And based on our recent survey showing that staff giving a remark of more than 91% of satisfaction by having this kind of laboratory information system. And how about our LTAT or LTAT improvement? We are able to get the routine biochemical, general biochemistry to be released less than 3 hours within 98.8%. And also, we are able to produce our immunoassay LTAT of less than 3 hours. It's about 94.9%. And provided this immunoassay also come out with the interpretive comment, we have auto-reflex, and we also have auto-comment to any of the results that require interpretive from our side. So for us, this is a good performance because we are able to achieve 100% of our KPI that we are only we want more than 90% within the 3 hours. So the other thing that we want to do more with less, with the financial pressure that we have, with the problem that we face, we do the consolidation so that even we are managed to increase about 30% of tests more rather than in the year of 2016. We were able to do more, not only in our discipline of chemical pathology, but across of other 4 disciplines of anatomic pathology, hematology, and microbiology are able to do more test menu rather than we send out to other laboratories. And this also leads to the effective financial management, and there will be more directive because all the purchasing being done at the state hospital, at our hospital, Penang Hospital, and the rest of the laboratory doesn't really need to think about the budgeting issue, rather than 6 different officers have to do the purchasing, but now we reduce into 1 officer to think about purchasing. So the other 5 officers in our district hospital are able to do other technical work and clinical work rather than focusing on the purchasing. And this philosophy of having a state tender is just a start, where it's also we are also implementing it into other disciplines in the state, where we have a state tender of ABG, state tender of blood culture system, for blood count, urinalysis, and coagulation, and also the same outcome is there. And now we are become one of the reference sites for other states in Malaysia, looking into us how we be able to reduce to reduce wastage and to improve our efficiency. So once again, based on the standardization and integration, we are aiming into 4 objectives, and these 4 objectives also give us a 4 outcome that we feel that this is the best outcome at the moment, to have a standardization of the pathology service, improve our laboratory quality performance, effective financial management, and we also improve the result connectivity and LTAT. So by that, we think that this is a turning point for us to have a better laboratory standardization and integration to the next level. And this is also come from us as a team. Malaysia is very diverse of cultures and race. So based on the diversity also, we come up with a good solution based on our teamwork and based on very good leadership in the state. So by that, the most important thing that our motto is we want to have a one Penang, one pathology, means that the whole pathology services in our state should be standardized, harmonized, and we are able to be better in terms of the quality of patient result.